let me tell you this about dentistry. Dentistry is very, very interesting in the fact that, believe it or not, as a profession, we make on average 4 times more than the average household in the United States. Not single person in the United States, average household. That's usually 2 working people, okay? So the average dentist makes 4 times more than the average household in the United States, okay? All right. That being said, greater than 80% of dentists report that they have physical and chronic, either acute or chronic pain every single day. And this is according to the ADA, greater than 80% of dentists are experiencing extreme stress and some level of anxiety or depression, according to the ADA. Greater than 50% of dentists in the United States report that if they had the choice to go back and choose another profession, they would have chosen a different profession, and they will not recommend dentistry to their children as a profession. Why, if we have, as a profession, are making 4 times more than the average household in the United States, are we so damn miserable? Dentistry is a tough, tough profession. 74% of the around 200,000 dentists in the United States own their own dental practice. Okay, JJ was talking earlier about the 1% default rate within dentistry. That's great. That means we're a really safe bet for the banks, but that does not mean that we're kicking ass as far as business ownership and running super profitable businesses. The average dental practice in the United States has an overhead between 68 and 72%, excluding doctor compensation. Add 30% to 68, what do you get? Okay. Add 30% to 72, what do you get? Okay, I know, champagne. Add 30% to 72, what do you get? 100, yes. So the average dental practice is 2% profitable to negative 2% profitable. That means the average dentist, if they're paying themselves, like an associate, they're getting 30% plus 2% or 30% minus 2%. So that means that the range of profitability in the United States after doctor compensation is negative 2 to 2%. That sucks considering all that we have to do to be dental practice owners. All the HR that we have to deal with, all the risk that we have to take, right? All of the patients with unrealistic expectations, all of the things that make dentists wish that they would have chosen a different career. In addition to that, they have this huge load and responsibility on their shoulders for starting this dental practice. 74% of us who have started a dental practice that don't know what the hell they're doing. And it's not their fault because we never learned this stuff in dental school. You guys have no idea. I go to a state or regional meeting, ADA, for instance. I'll go speaking in a breakout room or something, and I'll have doctors that have been in the profession for 25 to 40 years that have no idea the difference between a balance sheet and a P&L and a cash flow statement or how to read them. And they've owned a dental practice for 25 to 40 years. Their method of accounting is, it was a good month because I didn't have to put payroll on my credit card this month. My goal as a person that travels 150 to 200,000 miles per year, speaking in 85 countries and 85 cities in 6 countries, is to make sure that I help people alleviate that pain and help them to educate themselves a little bit more about dentistry and the business of dentistry. Now, you take the average negative 2 to 2% profitability, add 25% to that, which is what we call a black belt practice in our dental, in my group. We're belt systems. You're a white belt, blue belt, brown belt, or black belt. The cream of the crop are the 25% profitability practices, super profitable. So you take a practice that pays themselves 30% for their own personal production, say $1 million producer, they're paying themselves 30%, 300 grand. You add 25% profitability to that. So now add $250,000 to that plus their 300 grand. This doctor's taking home $550,000 versus the average dental practice owner that's taking home just over or just under $250,000 for the same amount of work, or $300,000 for the same amount of work. You add that extra $200,000+ over a 30 to 40 year career with compound interest, and you're talking about an 8-figure differential, excluding selling the practice and the real estate, between the guy or gal that's not running their practice efficiently and the guy or gal that just took the time to understand the basics of dental practice ownership. Now, don't you think it's worth it to spend a little bit of time educating yourself on how to run a small business?